Hey, how's it going, guys? On today's episode, we're going to be doing some upgrades on our trailer. It's going to be kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s version of Pimp My Ride, but for this trailer. Unfortunately, no, we're not going to be installing a popcorn maker, a Skittles dispenser, a cotton candy machine, or a waterfall. But what we are going to be installing is a new toolbox, a 9,000-pound winch, battery box, new tie-down axle cables, and some D-rings. And maybe, just maybe, we'll put some new wheels and tires on this trailer. I'm thinking size 15 in Keystones with some white lettered BFGs. What do you think? All right, get you something cold to drink, get kicked back in your recliner on your couch, and let's get after it. This is Busted Radio Garage. All right, guys, here's a quick overview of what we're going to be putting on the trailer today. We got a Badland 9,000-pound truck and SUV winch. Now, this may be a little bit of an overkill. I probably could have got away with a 2,000 or 2,500-pound winch, but I wanted something a little heavier because it's hard telling what we're going to be loading and unloading off this trailer. We could be using it for cars or something out here on the farm. So I would rather had something and not need it than not have it and need it, if that makes sense. So we'll get moving forward here. I just got a cheap little Craftsman 70-inch toolbox. These things are getting to be ridiculous. Most toolboxes I looked at over the last couple of days were north of $400. I mean, for a toolbox, that is just crazy. Fortunately, I went to Lowe's to look for some other things and found this in the clearance rack for 200 bucks. Snagged up on it. That's all we need for the winch and some straps is a couple little tools. There's no sense in going north of $400 for a box. That's just craziness. So went ahead and just picked up an Everstart marine battery, 1,000 cold cranking amps. I think that's going to be plenty for this winch. And then just got a waterproof box. Obviously, I don't want to stick a battery in a steel box, so got a plastic storage box to keep it in. And then got some Vulcan tie-down axle straps. Let's see what we got here. Got a nice little bag to keep everything in. But I've used these before, and they're actually a really good company to work with, a really good brand. The original car tie-down company. I mean, it's got to be true. I'm reading it. So we've got all of that. And then we got some 6,000-pound D-rings with backing plates that we're going to mount onto the trailer. I think that's going to be plenty good enough for our needs. And then, like I said, we may or may not go ahead and put some new wheels and tires on here. I'm a huge fan of Keystones, and I think I'm going to put a set of 15-inch Keystone Classics on here with some BFGs, kind of go with the theme of the rest of our cars. All right, that's enough of the yapping. Let me get you set up and we're going to get to work. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started with the toolbox and the winch portion first. I think that's going to take the most amount of time. I went ahead and got the toolbox open and got it kind of placed where I think it's going to go. Side note, though, I figured out while it was on sale. I opened this up and realized it's already got a oops in it. So it doesn't affect the box at all, so I'm not even going to worry about it. That thing's probably gonna end up with a half a dozen of those by the time it's said and done. It just sucks, brand new box with a big old ding in it already. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get this winch open, see what's all in here, see what it's all about. Let's go ahead and open this with you guys in here. I went ahead and cut the tape, and then we'll see how we're gonna mount it inside this box. But again, this is a Badland brand 9,000-pound truck winch, SUV winch. So we'll save the instructions there in case we need them. First off, got the hook. Let's see. Well, drop the hook down in there. We'll get it back out in a minute. And a 12-foot remote. That'll make it nice. There's all the electrical. and the winch itself. So I think that's gonna fit just fine in that box, or in that toolbox. All right, well, give me a second. I'll get all of this out of here, and we'll figure out the placement in the box, get all our measurements. Obviously, I'm gonna have to cut a hole in the front of the toolbox for the winch cable to come out. See about getting that waterproofed and getting this all set up. All right, give me just 1 second, and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, I've got everything marked here. Try to let you see this with the lights, but I've got all my marks made here with a soapstone, so I can go ahead and cut out the access panel for the winch cable and hook to come through. So what I'm gonna do is just take a disc and cut this out as square as I possibly can. And then I'm gonna try to save on this piece. So when we're done, what I'll do is I'll take a piano hinge, put here, mount this piece to it, so I'm able to create a flap that's gonna be able to come back down. It'll have a notch in it, obviously, for the cable, because the cable is going to be attached to the trailer. But at the end of the day, I'll be able to have a door here or a hatch to come down to try to prevent water or anything else from getting in there. So give me a second. I'll set you up. I'll get this cut out, and we'll get ready to get the box mounted so we can get our measurements for our mounting holes for the winch, which is going to be a bottom mount. So, let me get this cut real quick, and we'll get back after it. Hang tight a second. All right, guys, I got all this cut and cleaned up, deburred. All I did is once I got it cut, you save all your flap discs, guys. Unless they're really destroyed, you can take an old flap disc. And all I did was went around here and cleaned up all the big burrs, got them off. And then just took a little piece of 80 grit sandpaper that I had off an old sanding disc. And I just went around the edges here and got all the fine burrs off. Remove them. And she's super smooth now. So as you can see, I kind of scuffed up the paint, which is fine. When I'm all said and done, I'll either take a little bit of gloss and clean this up, or you can even just take some of that old edge trim molding or go around this, you know, do a piece of black or a piece of chrome or pink, whatever color you're into. And that'll cover this up and also protect it from the moisture and water and elements. So now that all that's done, we'll go ahead and get this box set up, get it kind of temporarily mounted, and we'll take our measurements for the winch and then get all that drilled, test fit that, and then we'll just continue on from there. All right, hang tight. Get you something to drink for a second. Be right back with you. All right, guys, got the toolbox mounted to the trailer. Took the old torque twister here and run 3-inch lag bolts, one in each corner. So if you can see that, down into the deck of the trailer, and there's 2 over there in that corner. And then I'm getting ready to set the winch in here we'll center it up with the hole. And then we'll have 4 more bolts. They're gonna mount here. So I would say this has got a pretty good stable platform for the deck of the trailer. It's not gonna go anywhere for sure. So let me go ahead and get these marked. We'll get under the trailer, run these bolts up through the bottom into the winch, and then we'll start on the electrical. Get the battery box put in, the new battery, and then we'll just kind of wire everything together. And then we'll get this guide here mounted to the front of the toolbox. So we've got a good guide for the cable. And then we're gonna put a D-ring here. And then we'll put a D-ring in each corner of the trailer. And then we'll go from there. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to get the holes drilled for the winch, but I just wanted to show you what I did to mark my holes. And that's just because I'm lazy. I've been honest with you about that. Instead of sitting under the tape measure down in here trying to fiddle fart around and get your holes exactly right, little trick is just take a little bit of, put your bolts that you're going to use into the bottom of the winch and just mark them with a little bit of grease or toothpaste or something that's going to leave a mark, but it's a little bit tacky. And what I did is just hopped up and set my winch down where I wanted it, and I left all 4 marks where I'm going to need to drill my holes. So now all I have to do is take my drill bit, drill down through where those marks were left, and they're perfect. They're exactly where they need to be for the winch or whatever else you're using. And I'll get underneath there and slide the bolts right in, and we're done. No fiddle farting around with it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set you up, get the holes drilled, and then we'll get this winch put in and get it mounted. All right, I got the winch temporarily in place, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the guide mounted, and then we'll go from there. So you'll get to see an old fat boy roll around on the trailer here for a minute. I'll go ahead and take a small bit and get my centers marked, and then I'll take the actual bit that we're going to use and drill these out. Alright, get the centers marked. We'll go ahead and draw out the real holes. Get this set up on here. All right, boys and girls, like a glove. Get all this put together real quick, and then we'll get back after it. All right, guys, we got the guide all installed. Got it bolted in. Turned out really nice. There for a few minutes, I didn't think we was gonna be able to use it all. But after some measurements and figured out where the car cable placement was gonna be when it was pulling a car or vehicle up on the trailer, it's gonna work out just fine right there. So that'll eliminate the use for any type of door or cover to go there. So we're just gonna go ahead and nix that. But here's the winch. I still got to do the final bolt in on that. We'll get under the trailer in a few minutes and do it. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and take it around here. I'm going to go ahead and take our battery box over there and check the placement inside the toolbox, see how well it's going to fit. We'll get it actually mounted to the trailer through the box as well. And then we'll get the battery placed. And then we'll go ahead and try to get all the wiring done for the winch. We've got a couple of relays to install. The actual main wiring box itself, which is here. Oh, well, you can see that. So we'll get all of this installed. And then there's a couple of relays there we're gonna have to install inside the box. We got another ground cable here we've got to install, and then we've got the remote. And then, you know, the hook itself. So there's still quite a bit to do yet, but we'll continue to gnaw at it here, and we'll get it knocked out, and then we'll start on our D-rings. We'll have to actually cut holes in the deck for that, because the type I bought are countersunk, so they'll actually countersink down into the bed and be out of the way, or down into the deck and be out of the way rather. All right, hang tight a minute. We'll get this battery box put in, and we'll see how it fits. All right, guys, so what this is, just a regular old plastic battery box from, I think it was Walmart. They're like 12 bucks. It's not that big a deal, not gonna dig into your pockets very bad, so we're gonna give it a shot. It's gonna be tight, but she's gonna go in there good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted down. We'll just take some self-tappers, drive down into the deck to kind of hold the box itself in place. And then there's a divider here for multiple size batteries. So if you got a smaller battery, you can move this in closer or further away if you have a bigger battery, and it'll hold it in place. Then it also has a tie down strap as well. So we'll get all this put in, and I'll be back with you in a second. All right, guys, got the battery box mounted in and got the battery installed. And like I was saying a while ago, it's got this little sleeve that slides down and locks in these slots. And that'll keep the battery from jumping around and moving if you hit a big bump or whatever. Also comes with this tie down strap, which I'll probably go ahead and use. I'm not 100% for sure yet. But before we get to that, I'm gonna go ahead and get all the wiring set up for the winch. Actually, I got to go underneath the trailer and bolt it in place. And then we'll get all the wiring, which is set up over there on the fender well. We'll get it all mounted up, get it bolted in real nice and clean in here so we don't have a bunch of wires laying around. And then I think that's going to finish it up as far as what's going to go in the box. I've actually got some 18 gauge steel sitting right over there that was left over from some repairs we had to make to Homer. So what I think I might do is take a piece, cut it, and go ahead and get it on the brake and bend it and create a little barrier in here. Get it painted and bolted into the trailer, into the box. That way there's kind of a barrier between the winch and the straps and tools and whatever else I can put in this little pocket here. That way we just don't have crap, you know, going all over the toolbox. But it's coming together rather well, to be honest with you. It's a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. I think the most difficult part is going to be laying under the trailer and putting those 4 bolts into the bottom of that winch rather. Once I think the first one's in, and then you just line up the second and third and fourth and whatever, and then we'll be fine. But we'll just take it one step at a time, keep chipping away at it. All right, guys, here's the just the basic wiring diagram. Show how everything goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this set up. Probably gonna have to figure out a way to mount the relays and stuff in here. And do it safely so don't electrocute myself or make the box hot when it's hooked to the battery. All right, guys, got everything hooked up on the inside of the box. I've yet to put the battery box cover on, mainly just because I wanted to show you the relay and all the wiring. And there's the winch. Got the box all cleaned back out. Storage for the remote. Like I said, we're gonna get a box or make one here for the straps and all the other stuff's from Vulcan. And then got the guide installed from earlier, and got the winch hook or the winch D-ring mounted to the deck of the trailer outside here. And then getting ready to install the 4 corner countersunk D-rings on the trailer itself. So we're gonna have 2 up there and then 2 back here. And I believe that's gonna be it for up here as far as the trailer goes. This turned out really nice. I'm actually happy with it. I tested the winch, it works good. Had the wife walk the cable out and then walk it back in, but everything worked good. So we're gonna get this battery good and charged. It's been sitting down here in the shop, so it's pretty well dead. But aside from that, we're gonna go ahead and get after these countersunk or countersink D-rings, and then we'll work on wheels and tires. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started on putting these tie downs on the deck of the trailer. What I've got here is this like 6x6 plank. It might be a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, it's about 6.5 by 6.5, but anyway, it's a 6.5 by 6.5 plate, and I'm just using the bottom section as a template right now. Essentially, I've got everything marked, so I'm gonna take and hole saw or jigsaw out this section, and then I'll drill out my 4 holes, my mounting bolts. And once that's all out, I'll take and countersink the actual ring into the deck of the bed, and then this plate will go underneath the deck and bolt all of this together. So essentially creating a sandwich for this section. And then we're gonna do that 4 times. So I got 1 here, 1 over there, and then I'm gonna have 2 here in the back. So that will essentially be everything I need to tie down the cars onto the trailer itself. And then of course we'll have the winch if we need it. And then with my straps, I kind of like to crisscross applesauce them. So they'll be crisscrossed in the front, crisscrossed in the back. And that should be plenty. So hang tight a second, I'll get you set up. We'll go ahead and get this first one put in. I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll go ahead and do the other 3. And then by then we might be able to go ahead and get into putting some nice shoes on this thing. All right, guys, there's the first hole cut out. Like I said before, essentially this is just going to sit here. We'll drill these 4 holes. We'll put the bolts in and go underneath, slide this plate in, attach it all together, sandwich it all together, and that first one will be done. And then we'll go on and move over there and get the next 3. All right, guys, for the most part, we have the trailer done, with the exception to the new wheels and tires. So let me spin you around and show you what everything looks like. All right, we have all the D-rings installed. There's the 2 back. I went ahead and stuffed them on the back of the dovetail because all of our cars are big girls. So I need all the room I can on the trailer to get them on there. Got the trailer all cleaned up. Here's the front D-rings. The center D-ring to hold the winch cable. And then there's the other D-ring itself there. Got the battery on the box for the winch on full charge. I'm just gonna leave it on trickle throughout the winter until we need it. And then here's our straps, remote, the winch obviously. This is all wired in, tucked in nice. And then there's the battery. But everything turned out really nice. I'm happy with it. This is stuff I believe we may or may not need. If something happens to one of the cars at the track or on an event, at least we got the winch to get the car back on the trailer. But all right, enough of the stuff that I think we need. Now I'm gonna put something on that I want, and that is some new wheels and tires, because these are just butt ugly and just doesn't go with what I do here. So give me a minute to get you set up, and we're gonna put some new wheels and tires on this girl. All right, boys and girls, here they are. Anybody that knows me, that'll tell you that my favorite wheel of all time is the Keystone Classic. They're just beautiful. So that is what I'm gonna put on the trailer as well. A lot of my cars here have them on it, and this one's not gonna be any different as far as the wheels go. So give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get the jack out. We'll get this trailer up, get them god-awful ugly wheels off there, and we're gonna slap these on real quick and see what everybody thinks. Let's go. That ought to be good enough. If you don't have one of these already, I highly recommend it. These Milwaukee fuel impact wrenches, I mean, they're a godsend. I mean, air tools are cool and they're nice to use, but they don't get much better than this. So much better. Yeah, that definitely does it. Looks beautiful. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you stopping in. If you haven't done it already, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up, notification bell. Let you kind of know when we're doing new videos, what have you. Make sure to check your subscription as well. I'm seeing some that are being kicked off the channel. Not sure why. I'm not sure if it's in the algorithm for YouTube. It's just kind of weird. And just again, our merch is coming out. They're saying in about 2 weeks. So we're gonna have shirts, snapback patch caps. As usual, we have stickers. They're 100% free. I even pay the postage to get them to you. So if you're interested into something like that, just shoot me an email at bustedradiogarage@gmail.com. Give me your name, address. If you're uncomfortable with that, just shoot me a private message personally on my Facebook. Your name and address. I'll shoot you stickers over. If you need a couple extra for your kids or a family member or your Aunt Helen or whatever, just put it in the comments if you like 2 or 3 stickers, and I'll ship those out to you, no problem. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.